In this lecture, let us understand working of asynchronous JavaScript. Most of the students get confused between synchronous code and asynchronous code, and also they will get stuck when it comes to asynchronous code. They will not understand what will be the result of asynchronous code. So in this lecture, I will be showing you complete working of asynchronous JavaScript so that whenever you see the code, you will understand how this will be working, and also you will be able to predict the result. Before moving to asynchronous JavaScript, let us see what is synchronous JavaScript and what is the problem in synchronous code. So this is the simple example. I have selected H2 heading, and inside this heading I have added some text. Then here I am using prompt. Inside this I am asking what is my name, and after that I am selecting paragraph, and inside that paragraph whatever username I have entered, I am just displaying that hello username, and after that I am just changing the color of this H2 heading to green color. When I execute this code line by line, it is going to execute. So this is nothing but this is synchronous code, because this code will be executed line by line, and whatever order I have given, in exact same order it is going to execute. So let me show you how this will be working. So this is the code. As this first line is reached, then this code will be executed in execution thread. Okay, do not worry. What is this execution thread? So this thread of execution is nothing but it refers to the sequence in which statements are executed within a program. So as we all know, JavaScript is single-threaded programming language because it is going to perform only one task at a time. It will not perform multiple tasks at a time. And in the context of web browsers, single thread is also known as main thread or UI thread. So this is nothing but thread of execution, which means one by one code will be executed inside this thread. Only to make the point clear what is synchronous and asynchronous code, I have used this thread of execution here. So first line is executed inside this execution thread. Now second line is reached. This code will be executed inside this thread of execution. Then third line is reached, and inside this code will be executed. But here I am having prompt. So as soon as I reach this line, I will be having this prompt which is asking what is your name. So unless and until I enter the name, I click on OK, I will not be able to move to the next lines. I can also cancel this, but unless and until I perform these actions, I will not be able to move to the next line. So here what happens? It is just blocking rest of the code. I cannot select paragraph. I cannot give content to paragraph, as well as I cannot change color of my heading. So whatever code I am having below this prompt, entire code is blocked. Now after giving this name, imagine I have given the name and I have clicked on OK. Only after that I will be moving to the next line. This code will be executed in thread of execution. Again I will be moving to the next line. Then this code will be executed. And finally color of the heading will be changed and this code will be executed. So this is nothing but synchronous way. One by one code is executed. Unless and until I finish the task, I will not be moving to the another task. So here what happened? Each line of code will be waiting for the previous task to finish. Once I finish, only then I can move to next line. And because of this, it will be very time consuming. Just imagine if the previous task is taking 3 seconds to complete, then entire code, whatever I am having, entire thing will be blocked. So simply it is going to block entire execution. Sometimes using synchronous code is fine, but as I mentioned, if the previous task is taking multiple seconds, Suppose if it is taking 4 seconds, then it will be very terrible experience for the user, and maybe second time they will not be visiting your website. So just imagine, if your second task is taking 10 seconds to complete, then user will be feeling annoyed and experience will be very terrible because it has blocked rest of the code and nothing is executed in my browser. So in this situation, asynchronous JavaScript comes into play, and this is the example of asynchronous JavaScript. Here, similar way, I have selected my heading, I have added this content, I have selected my paragraph, and after 4 seconds, I just want to display this hello Khanam. So I have used set timeout function, and below this I am selecting H2, and after that I am adding color to my heading. 4000 millisecond is equal to 4 seconds. So this is the example of timer with callback function. This is the callback function which we have passed inside this set timeout. So you should remember, set timeout function is asynchronous code. So now let us see how this will be working. First line of code is reached. This will be executed inside thread of execution. Second line is reached. It will be executed here. Third line is reached. It will be executed. All this will be executed in synchronous way. But now fourth line is reached. It will be executed. But inside this I am having 4-second timer. And inside this I am having some content which has to be displayed after 4 seconds. So this is nothing but asynchronous code. So what happens, in background timer will be running, and here I am having callback function. So callback function will be registered here, and this set timeout function is asynchronous, and I have mentioned after 4 seconds I just want to execute this line. So what happens, in background this timer will be running, so I will not wait for this line to execute. Directly I will jump to this line, and this code will be executed inside thread of execution. So after 4 seconds, when my timer completes, whatever callback function I have registered, that will be executed inside thread of execution. You can see, and this callback function will be executed only when all the code, whatever I am having below this set timeout, only when it is completed, this callback function will be executed. Now if you see here, set timeout function is coming before this heading, but still in my thread of execution it has executed at the end because of asynchronous code, and set timeout is asynchronous function. So this is the major difference between synchronous and asynchronous JavaScript. So what you understood by seeing that example, asynchronous code is non-blocking. It is not going to block entire code. Whatever code is taking long time, that will be running in the background. Once it is completed, only then the code will be executed. Execution of other code does not wait for an asynchronous task to complete its task. And also, asynchronous task executes only after the task that runs in the background completes. Suppose after, just imagine, this H2 has executed here, and here I have set 10-second timer. So once this 10 second is reached, only then this code will be executed. Before that, it is not going to execute. Now maybe you will be having a question, all callbacks are asynchronous, because inside set timeout function I have passed callback function, and that function I have registered, and only after the timer completes I have executed my callback function. So you should be having question, all callbacks are asynchronous, because previously we have seen array higher order methods, map method, reduce method, filter method. So in that also we will be passing callbacks. But here the answer is no. Not all callbacks are asynchronous. Okay, this is very important to note. Whenever you are writing code in JavaScript, then you should be having this clear understanding. Not all callbacks are asynchronous. So this is the example of filter method. We have used this filter method. Inside that we have passed callback function. So it is not going to register. It is not going to register in the background. Whatever code I will be getting, that will be filtered out and that result will be executed in the execution context. So you should remember this and also you should make a point of this because these are the questions which will be asked in interviews. So this is the complete overview of how synchronous JavaScript will be working. Now for you, simple exercise will be to find out if the click event is synchronous or asynchronous and also if the image source attribute is synchronous or asynchronous. If you get the answer, you can provide the answer in the comment section so that I will be providing you with the feedback.